Hello and welcome to our series, The Explorers, Navigating the Unknown Future. Today we're joined by Steve Gumaerr, the president of an international aid organization that helps families displaced by war. Steve, thank you so much for joining us and for the important work that you do.
Thanks, Catherine. It's a pleasure.
First off, why don't you just tell us a little bit about Partners Relief and Development?
Partners Relief and Development was started 26 years ago in response to one little girl whose village was burned down in Myanmar by Burma Army soldiers. And that little girl was laying on the floor of a hut. My wife and I went to that hut and met the widow who was caring for that child. She asked us if we would get involved and help this little girl survive her ordeal and get on her feet. Doing that drew us into the conflict, the ongoing conflict in Myanmar, and furthermore into the ongoing conflicts that we find in the world where politics and violence prevents children from having the basic things they need.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the places where you're currently working?
Myanmar is our first and biggest program delivery location. But since 2012, we've also worked in the Middle East. We've been working in Iraq until the fall of Mosul, and now doing small scale development projects there. And then into Syria, both in northeast Syria, where the Kurds live, and in Syria proper in the south, where Assad is the controlling leader. And then also we've been working in Yemen since 2016. So those are the places that we work and seek to help children who are deprived of their basic needs. The first thing that we do is help to provide food, and also drinking water and shelter and those basic fundamentals like clothing and a blanket. Then we work on opening schools and clinics or hospitals in order to get those same children access to education again and then healthcare.
How did you engage the intersection of running this international nonprofit while also engaging donors in a now virtual world?
That travel was shut down and there was a threat to our program delivery, I think brought out the best in our support community. They made us the last thing they're going to stop supporting. In addition to that, uh, we've never had more public exposure that we've had in the past 10 months. People have seen us on media outlets that they hadn't seen us on before. And a lot of people became aware of the work we do who didn't know about us because we were relatively small and never had a kind of public relations strategy. People are staying home a lot more. They're less distracted by all of their other interests and hobbies and complexities. And I think they're more aware of what's happening on social media. They're looking at it more, and all of those things also drive people to recognize the work that we're doing and be more regularly updated, and therefore I think jump in and join the team.
Are there any changes that Partners has made during this time that you feel are innovative or that are so important that you'll want to continue them moving forward, even in a post pandemic world?
Our team is collaborating more and better than ever. That there is less siloing because there is suddenly no border. Everyone's, even if they're in the same city, they're stuck in their home, and they just click that button and they're in Zoom with the whole team, and collaboration happens because there's an appetite for it as well. We're talking about how to keep the energy of that collaboration going, how to be more flexible with remote work sites and remote work times, and how to nurture that lesson that we've learned. And that's not just with our team, but also with our supporters.
Do you feel that nonprofits and aid organizations that are deeply committed to their work, that show that through the work they're continuing to do, they're going to survive COVID or not?
There, over time, loyalty is developed, and it's a relationship. So that, in a way, makes charities. I just read an article about it that came out of the 20s, a study out of the Great Depression, about what kind of charities survived that financial recession or depression. And it was those nonprofit organizations that had an established rapport and relationship with the people who supported them. And those that had that did fine. They came through it fine. Those that didn't, then they fell apart.
Well, Steve, thank you so much for sharing your insights and the incredible work that you and your team at Partners do. It is truly an honor for us to work with you and to shine a spotlight on the humanitarian relief that you really have spread all across the globe. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Catherine. It's a pleasure. Thank you.